Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kremer. Today we are going to talk about kits. Let me find myself on my tablet. It's so fun to interact with you live when you catch me live. If you're watching the replay, let me know you watched. If all goes well, I will put this on. Oh, you don't need to hear me twice. Let me turn that sound down. All right. So I do if the videos go well, I upload them to YouTube. A few months ago or a few weeks ago, it didn't go well and I retaped it, and that is also on YouTube. So a lot of them are repeats if you're seeing me on Facebook. But if you're wherever you're watching me, let me know you've watched the replay. I'd like to know if you have any questions, if there's anything I can help you with. So anybody with me? Hello, thank you for joining me. All right, let's get started. So I have some cards here that are part of a kit that I made earlier this week, and we'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted you to have something pretty to look at while I chattered. All right, so let's get busy. So kits, you might be familiar with Paper Pumpkin. Make sure you can see. This is our most recent Paper Pumpkin kit, and so we're going to talk about the good and the bad. So if you have any comments about kits, why you do like them, why you don't like them, let me know in the comments if you're live on Facebook, and we can talk about that. Chances are I'll cover it because I've been talking with other people about kits for quite a while. I was working with my team and trying to come up with a kit that I could sell to people, and then that kind of went by the wayside because I didn't know who I'd sell it to. So anyway, I've been thinking about kits for quite a while. So the April Paper Pumpkin was called the World's Greatest. And the Paper Pumpkin comes with a stamp set about this size every month, and it also comes with at least one ink spot. So this is an inch-by-inch ink pad. I don't even open mine because I have all the big pads, all the colors in the big pads. To make these cards, most often you just use the sentiments, and these other stamps are usually not used. But this time, a lot of times there'll be flowers or accent pieces or whatever. This time they did actually use them, not the number one. But this round became this banner, and this looks like the fabric that holds a medal is stamped there. So one thing I've had people say that they don't like about Paper Pumpkin, and I had a customer that used to get Paper Pumpkin, but she said that it made too many cards all the same. So this kid in particular made 3 each of 3 different cards. Stampin' Up! Is trying to work with us and offer lots of alternate ideas or alternative ideas to Paper Pumpkin. They do a video, there's a Facebook page offering you ideas, and a lot of times people will use just the stamp set. Sometimes people will get real creative, and they're usually demonstrators that will take just the contents of a Paper Pumpkin kit and make cards other than these. I personally like kits, and this is one thing people have told me that they do like about the kits, is everything's done, everything's ready to go, everything's cut, everything's punched or die cut or embossed. I like them also because there's always fun embellishments. These are star-shaped gold sequins. There's almost always ribbon in it, so it's fun to see different things there. And this ribbon, do I want to say never? Correct me if I'm wrong if you know. The ribbon in the Paper Pumpkin kits is never or rarely something available to purchase on its own. So we don't have this really wide Pacific Point. Anyway, so they come with envelopes. So that's Paper Pumpkin. So that's one idea. If you are just starting out as a stamper, Paper Pumpkin is a great way to get a few stamps. I have a Happy Mother's Day and Happy Father's Day stamps just thanks to Paper Pumpkin. And in 12 months, if you subscribe for 12 months, you'll get at least 12 different colors of ink. So it is a great way to start, even if you only got it for 2 or 3 months to see if you like stamping to get you started. Unfortunately, it's only available in the US. So if you're watching me from outside the US, I'm sorry. The July kit is available during August to people outside the US, but that was a special occasion. All right, so other good things about kits. This is called the Looking Up kit, and it's on page 7 of the annual catalog. And I've talked about this because my favorite happy birthday stamp that stays on this acrylic block is always available, and we've used it a lot. again, it makes these 5 cards and you get 3 of each card, which is great. In our family, we have a lot of people who love airplanes. I like hot air balloons myself. So it is a great kit, and that's why I got it. I like the black and white, and there's a lot to it. This is an all-inclusive kit, as I think I said, and it came with stamps, which I can't find right now. I don't know. But anyway, so that's another idea if you're just getting started. In the mini catalog, there is this called the Tag Buffet. Look at this cute little box. It's smaller than a paper pumpkin box. It is so cute. And this makes tags, just like it says. It does not come with a stamp set. Look at all these background papers. It's going to be really fun. I just opened it and haven't played with it very much. You don't have, I mean, that one does not even look Christmassy to me. It's two different shades of green. Can you see it's got some gold? All of these colored tags have gold on them, and these actually have some embossing. So they don't have to be Christmas. I mean, some of them do look Christmas. That one you could use for Valentine's Day. There's a cute one with the gold dots. Most of these accent pieces are Christmassy. And like I said, I did not get the stamp set. I'm sure I have a Merry Christmas or a Noel or whatever that will fit on there. So that's another idea. To get creative, everything's punched, cut, ready to go, and have the ink pads and your own stamps, and you're ready to create. But my idea for today is to create our own kit out of things you already have. So let me show you what I have created from a kit, and then I'll show you how I did it. So you can see that one, these 4 have the same shape of designer series paper. They all do have designer series paper on them, so that is kind of my key to making our own kits. So these aren't all done, obviously. I mean, you could send them like that, but I like to add a little more. And this was kind of my bonus card. You may have seen this. People are calling it the Scrappy Strip, and that is actually from the annual catalog. There's a place in there called Get Scrappy that showed using scraps of paper. And this was kind of my bonus card. So the kit I'm going to show you how to make today, you can make 11 cards. And so if we count them through here, there were 11. So I did add some punches, and you know, that's my favorite punch, in the large and medium daisy punch. All right, let me see if you have any questions yet. Anything going on? All right, so let me know if you have questions as we're going. So I based this kit on 2 designer series paper. Oh, did I write them down? I did not. Let me grab my annual catalog. Maybe you even recognize the paper from those. They are from the annual catalog. And let's see if I have it handy. If you have your catalog handy. I used Playful Pets. So this piece came from Playful Pets. And on the back side of that is that's the front and back of that piece of paper. So I used 4 pieces of designer series paper that were 6 by 6. I think I mentioned that. So here's another one from Play with Patterns. Sorry, not Playful Pets. Playing with Patterns. And so I did not use the back side of this. It had navy blue dots on the back side of this paper. So that's the second one. Then I used 2 6 by 6 pieces of paper from the Artistry Blooms designer series paper. Sorry, Playing with Patterns is on page 100. I'm looking at the designer series paper page, this one here, on page 148, 149. So the Artistry Blooms, I used this piece, and on the back side of this was one of the, now where'd it go? I don't know. It had some purple in it. I don't think it was that one. I think this is the back side of this designer series paper, and I don't have scraps left, so I used them all in my cards. So let me show you how I got to this place. We've talked about One Sheet Wonders with 6 by 6 designer series paper, and I don't know if you can read this. If you're interested in this, let me know. I will type it up and use paint to come up with these one sheet wonders for the 6x6. But these were my notes when I was trying to figure out how could I make a kit out of 4 6x6 pieces of designer series paper. So you've seen this one before. That's the one I used on I did a one sheet wonder video a few weeks ago. And I decided that this was my favorite one. Using these 2-inch pieces of pattern paper is really easy for me to make a card with. So I decided to do 2 of these, and I called that A. So I'm going to show you where I'm going here. Excuse my reach. Hopefully I didn't bump that. So I used 2 of A, and I know I can get 1, 2, 3 cards out of pattern A, and I'm going to do 2 of those, so that's 6 cards. I'm going to do 1 of pattern B, and I can get 2 cards out of B. And pattern C, I just cut it into 3-inch squares, so I can get 4 cards. And nice cards. You could get fewer cards if you want more layers, but I decided I did want to do a card for each of those, and so I could get 4 cards out of that. So from those 2A, 1B, 1C, I added it up and I got 12 cards. With me so far? I love math, so hopefully you do too. So for 12 cards, I need 12 card bases. Our card bases are a half of an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So I knew I needed 6 sheets of cardstock. I wanted a layer for each of those 12 bases, and you hopefully know that we can get 4 card layers, a full card layer, out of a piece of cardstock. So I knew I needed 3 sheets of cardstock for my layers. So we're just talking in general, no colors. We haven't talked colors yet. And then I wanted some scraps to be used for my punching and my, you could use dies. I only used punches on these cards. And I did do some embossing with my embossing machine. So these were the scraps I had. So I thought, I don't know where I came up with this number. I just thought half a piece of cardstock. So I needed 6 pieces of scraps, and I thought 2 sheets. I did have extra here, so if you have less, that's fine too. So adding that up, I have 11 sheets of cardstock. So let's back up. I have 4 pieces of designer series paper that are 6x6, and 11 pieces of cardstock in coordinating colors. You with me so far? Give me a thumbs up or something if you're following. So I decided in making my first kit here that I wanted to use those 2, the Playing with Patterns and Artistry Blooms. And I'm sorry for my handwriting. This was not meant to be shown to anybody. And I always blame it on being a lefty that I have messy handwriting. I know my sister's a lefty and she doesn't have messy handwriting. So I found it easiest if the paper has either Whisper White or Very Vanilla, so that I don't need both for my kit. So both of these have, thank you Alma for the thumbs up. So both of these use Whisper White, so that was easier. And then I listed the colors. Artistry Blooms has a lot more colors than this, but these were the ones that I noticed very much overlapped with Playing with Patterns. So I circled Coastal Cabana, Coral, Calypso Coral, Night of Navy, and what is that one? Oh, Purple Posy. Sorry for I can't even read that one. Artistry Blooms doesn't have Purple Posy. It does have Gorgeous Grape, which being purple, I thought the Purple Posy fit well enough with the Gorgeous Grape that I decided to use those as my colors. So that's where I came up with my color scheme. If you look at the back of or in a catalog or the back of your designer series paper, it'll tell you what colors were used. So I think if you're going to try this, that would be my suggestion. Look at what color cardstock you already have, and then use a designer series paper that uses 1 or more of those colors. So that's what I did to create these. Should we finish? I'm going to have you tell me 2 things. Should we finish some of those cards? You can see what cards I made out of those. I do have an unfinished kit out of a different designer series paper that I can show you what your kit will look like when you're done making your kit. And then we're going to make a kit as well. So Should we finish some cards first? I think that might be a good thing to do. So this layout C, I end up with 4 3x3 pieces of designer series paper. So there's 1, oh, I just had them here, 2, 3, I'm sorry, did I say 3? I meant 4. So that must be the back side, because those are my 4 cards. So I just added, this one is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 on my crushed curry. And I think I only had 1 piece of crushed curry. And then this, can you see this here? This must be 3 1/2 by 3 1/2 to put behind that. And I actually got this idea. Somebody posted a card on Facebook, and it was just this with a sentiment on there. So I'm going to use Butterfly Gala, and I think a little note. Have you been sending cards to people? I have to share a story, and I don't think I shared this story with you yet. And I didn't ask my customer if I could share it, so I can't tell you names. But I had a customer say that she sent a card to a friend who had not been out much and seen many people during our pandemic. My friend, we'll call her Amy. Amy sent, we'll call her Betty, her friend Betty, a card. Betty said she cried when she saw the envelope. She didn't even see what Amy wrote on the card. She didn't even see the card, but the fact that Amy thought of her made Betty cry. That story made me come home and put some cards together that I need to mail out tomorrow. So we need to be sending cards. We need to care for each other. It's such a weird time. Such a weird time. So using this, a little note, and I only grabbed Night of Navy, Coastal Cabana. I like the Granny Apple Green. It's such a bright cherry color. And Calypso Coral. Those were the colors that were consistent through both designer series paper. So, oh, I pulled it out and then I put it away. So I'm just going to coordinate my ink, because hopefully you have ink that coordinates with your paper. A little note. Let's put a little note on something else since we have it out. I don't have another one that it will work on. I am going to clean that though. Let's finish these so I have 4 more cards I can mail out tomorrow. You know what? You leave me a comment today or tomorrow and I will send you a card. How's that? Oh, I forgot to mention. September starts tomorrow, and September is my birthday month. If you get my newsletter, you'll be getting a newsletter, and it'll talk about this as well. We're just going to use Calypso Coral, because I don't know what happened to my pink ink pad. So for September, if you order from me during September, I'm going to send you a gift for my birthday. Now, a couple of you have ordered in the last day or 2, and since you didn't know that I was going to send something in September, you'll be getting a gift from me too. So if you've ordered in the last 2 or 3 days, or during the month of September, I should show you what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little note on the bottom of that. One of my favorite sentiments, a little note. Who wouldn't love to get a card like that? So leave me a comment and I'll send you a card. We could also add some bling. I think these are retired. Basic adhesive back sequins. I can't remember if they're current. I have a hard time keeping track of what's current and what's not. So I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool and just add a little bling. Just because I can. Hopefully that's going to work. I scoop under there. There's a glue dot under that sequin. We'll put one there, one more. When you put things in 3s, I say to put them in a triangle. There we go. I might leave it off the others. A little note. All right, so there's some cards. So in making your kit, you probably saw that card with, you can still, I just dropped it. We're going to do something else. You can still use your stamps to create with. So I pulled out my, I don't have it, it's, I don't know, it's the stamp set that has these cute little animals. There's a sloth that's hanging on a tree, and I have that, let me see if I can reach it, this little guy. That one I just used ink from my ink pad. This giraffe I used blends. So on this card we could add, and I chose Granny Apple Green to coordinate with the Granny Apple Green in there. We could put him on there, and then I had, so that says ouch, and then this says that's not good. So I would finish it off like that. I'd probably put this on dimensionals. So, and then we could add some bling if you want. I'm not real big on ribbon, but if you have ribbon that coordinates with your designer series paper, add that to your kit too. I didn't grab my ribbon box, but all right. So with your kit, I could just put these in the box, and I probably will. And then when somebody needs a Get Well card, literally 5 minutes and I could have it ready to go. I also used my butterflies, using the same colors that were in my designer series paper. This is from the Butterfly Gala. So I didn't color those were all stamped. Let me look for one. Like I said, that one already has a punch. Should we add it to there? No, I think we'll add it to this one. Do I have my adhesives? And I don't have a sentiment for this one. Maybe it doesn't need a sentiment. Let's add a, can you see what I'm doing? Good. I'm just gonna bend those up a little bit, add some dimension, put him there, and where'd that little guy go? There he is. Again, everything coordinates because I chose my inks and my paper based on the designer series paper. All right, so I have another question for you. I'm going to show you a kit. I'm going to make one using our little layout there. Do you want me to use the Ornate Garden? And that has the florals, has the bumblebee color, early espresso, garden green, I can't remember what else. Here, let me grab one. Or do you want me to use the Forever Greenery? So this is a Forever Greenery, which is just greens. When I first saw this designer series paper, I thought, oh, I'll just always add a bright colored flower to it. This paper is so stunning that you don't really need to add flowers to it all the time. So Forever Greenery or the Ornate Garden. These are some scraps of mine from the Ornate Garden. So which of those two do you want me to make a kit out of? So you decide. So there's a cute card, ready to go. Nice stamp on the back. All right, so in choosing the colors of my cardstock, I should mention this. I purposely chose cardstock that was light enough that I wouldn't need to put a layer on the inside. So I think in all my kits so far, and I've made 2, and we'll make a third, I used 1 sheet of the thick cardstock so that it could be a card base. All my cards, I know I have, like this one. These are my 2 white, that's thick Whisper White, that I used on that card base. And then I had enough Whisper White left over to add a layer onto the inside of this card, and this was a bonus card. And that's what I made out of these strips. We're going to do that another day. I don't want to take all that much time. We will do this scrappy strip next week. So I will save my leftover pieces when I make the kit this week, and then we'll show you how I do the scrappy strip. That's what they call it. So, which I didn't know it came from the annual catalog. So using my directions here, out of that 11 sheets of cardstock, you've seen my 12 cards. I still have extra. So I can make more of these punches. You see I have in my kit, I have a few of these ready to go. So I can, if I had extra white. I have a little extra white. Hopefully you have more white around. I would stamp and punch that out, and you've seen me layer with this punch. And then I would just put that on this card. I don't know what it's going to be because right now I don't need a card. Well, actually I need a card for you if you've commented. So that is my kit. That's my idea. Tell me what you think. And then a green, 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 green. Everybody says green. All right, greenery it is. Let's get this out of the way. So I think, I don't know, does my pattern there make any sense to you? Oh, sorry, I'm gonna need to reach over here and grab my trimmer. So the green. I think it would, I haven't made one of these with a floral pattern paper yet. I think it would be really easy to make a whole bunch of cards. So here are the papers that we have to choose from. Ooh, that one's pretty. That one's pretty. I'm showing you both sides. I like that one. So we'll use that. So we need 4. So these two, I like. Actually, I like them all. This one I have not used much. Isn't that beautiful? There's the back side. And I love these stripes. So there's the front and the stripes on the back. So those are the 4 we're going to use. So I'm going to cut a 6x6 piece of paper of each of those. And I am making such a mess today. I'm glad you're not here to see my mess. Let me get this out of the way a little bit. So I have room to work. All right. So 6x6. That's already 6. Can you see? All right. 6x6. Put that to the side. And that is 6 inches wide. So I'm going to cut it 6. Some of our paper does come 6x6. We have plaid tidings in the mini catalog right now that is 6x6. Now that would be a fun one to use if you have a lot of different colors of cardstock. 6x6, because there are a lot of colors in that designer series paper. The plaids are gorgeous. Or if you don't have a lot of different colors, you would just choose the plaids that you do have the coordinating cardstock. All right, so there's our 4 pieces of 6x6 designer series paper. Set that all aside. All right. I love that you all chose the green one. All right. So in choosing, you've seen me use the 2-inch strips quite often. And that's an easy one to use with any. So the one I'm going to decide on first is this letter C, which are 3x3. So let's just imagine just a small 3x3 piece of that. Or I really like that plaid, the stripes though. That would be so exciting in a 3x3. Now that would be beautiful. Let's see if we can find one 3x3. No. Unless you add something to it. I like that first one. Even though I like the stripes, I don't know if I'll use that. Actually, I changed my mind. We're going to do this one. And so this is going to be our letter C. I'm going to cut it 3x3. Let's make sure it's 6x6. All right, so 3 that way. 3 that way. 3 that way. So there's our 4 3x3. So we're just going to make a pile. Do I have a pen? So I will go like that so I know what I've done. All right, let's choose which one. Where did my cards go? So this is what these became. So this is the designer series paper and then a piece of our layered cardstock. Can you see? I actually embossed both of those. So that's, oh there, that's good. So that's one way to add some variety to your cards is to emboss it. So we're gonna do B. Let's do this one in letter B. So I'm gonna cut off 2 1-inch strips. And then what's left, the 4-inch wide, our cards are 4 1/4. So that will be the width of our card. I mean, you could go sideways too. I do tend to do most of my cards this direction. So we'll leave that there. So I'm going to cut, so I want this to be like that on my card. So I'm going to cut 2 1-inch strips off a side. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. So 1 inch there. And 1 inch there. So now that's, I cut 2 inches off, so it's 4 inches. And I'm going to cut it, this is still 6 inch, so I'm going to cut that at 3. And there is the piece for our card. Obviously, we're going to use greens, not this. So that's the other side. So that's our B. Let's move that to the side. And I can post all these cards as well. So on the last one, I'm going to do 2 of this A. So I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off because our cards are 5.5 inches tall. This is 5.5 inches and our paper's 6. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off and I'm going to cut the stripes here. Cut 1/2 inch. And the good thing about our trimmer is you can measure on both sides. It's a little harder to go this way and measure the 1/2 inch on this side. So I like to go this way. You can either measure 5.5 here, or 5.5 over here, or a 1/2 inch here. So either way, it's still 5.5 by 6. So there's our scrap. So this is 6, and we know these are going to be 2 inches each. So here's a piece. Oh, beautiful. And another 2 inch. And that's what we're going to do with our last piece as well. Now I've already gone through and pulled a bunch of my green cardstock. So I want it to go this way on my card. So I'm going to cut, no, we're doing this one. So I want it this way on my card. So I'm going to cut 1/2 inch off the bottom. So 5.5 up here, or 1/2 inch on this side. There's our scrap that we will use next week. And this is 6 inches, but I want these to be 2 inch. 2 inches is just a nice size on our card fronts. And 2. So there is, that's our designer series paper. Now, I pulled a bunch of the greens that are in this. So we have garden green and pretty peacock, just jade, mint macaron, and I grabbed my thick whisper white. It's just kind of fun to make some white cards now and again. So this is all just cutting it in half so I know what I'm working with. So I'm going to cut 11 sheets. So there's one. Some of these are already cut for us. This was already cut into quarters, but this was a full sheet. So there's 2. 1, 2, 3. 1. Oh, I already lost count. 1, 2. There's 3. We'll just pull them out. 4, 5. I'm just getting a variety. 6. I really like this one. So there's another one. 7, 8, 9. I think my last 2 would be white. I don't know if I have it handy. I don't think I do. But that would be 11 sheets of cardstock. So we cut those up. I have 11 sheets of cardstock. And I'm just going to make card bases out of all of these for now. And then you'll see where I go after that. Sorry, I should have prepped this a little extra. Any questions? Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I see more people I know. For people who see that Kristen Bryant just said hi to Anne. Anne is my sister in my downline. Kristen is my upline in Stampin' Up. So, hello, Kristen. If you're still on here. You may have come and gone. Alright, so there's our card bases. We're going to keep that handy. So now, this is where the fun creative part comes in. So let's look at our designer series paper. Grab our bone folder. What colors should we be using? I do have quite a bit of dark cardstock here, so I might use some extra white, because this is garden green. That's kind of dark to be writing on, so I probably would put a layer on the inside. One thing you can do with those, this would actually work. put a layer of green, lighter green inside there. I would trim it down. And then you could put a piece of designer series paper on the inside and then put that same coordinating one on the outside. There's one idea. Lots of ideas. But we are going to save these and make that scrappy strip with that. So I would probably put this with this. So I'm just going to pair them up and put them to the side. Just so you can see what kind. Oh, I love that stripe. So I would do that. This is one of my favorite colors, the Pretty Peacock. It is an in color, so we will only have it till next summer. I think, are we changing our dates, ladies? I think it's going to be, there's some peacock little dots in there, so I would do that. I think a layer of green behind that would be nice, but for now I'm just matching and coordinating to see what I'd want to do. So in doing this, your kit could be done. Maybe this is all the time you had and you just cut your cardstock and your designer series paper and that's your kit. And then you have, say, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. You could just pull out half a piece of cardstock, a piece of designer series paper, and then finish your card. Like I said, this one is super easy. Just put a layer behind that and stamp a sentiment, and you could be done with a quick card. That would be pretty. Well, let's do that. I don't know. I'm just playing. So in your kit, you could also put some coordinating ribbon. I like that one. So I would just mix and match and keep going. Again, this is a dark color. Maybe I don't want to make a card base out of that. Maybe we'll use these as our card bases, because then I don't need to put a layer behind it, or layer on the inside. Which one? Ooh, that doesn't match. I really love that stripe. There's another stripe. Let's do one of these. Oh, we have our white. Let's make sure we make 2 white cards. What goes well with this one? So we just mix and match. Which one? I really like that. We have a fern stamp in the one of the daisy stamp sets. There's a fern stamp that would coordinate with that one if you want to do some extra stamping. When I'm using the thick Whisper White or Very Vanilla, I do like to score it. So that's our lighter blade. So we know that's 8.5. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I'm going to score both of these. Sorry for my reach. Sorry, I'm not watching. Oh, you want to see the cards? All right. So I probably won't finish these cards, but I can show you. And I probably would do this if I were making just a kit to have on hand. So there is our layer. Remember, that was 4 inches by 3 inches. So you could, or you don't have to, put another layer up there. So you could add, we could trim this mint down and put a layer so it would look like that. If you want, you don't have to. For now, I'm just pairing the designer series paper with the card bases. And I'll show you as soon as I get this done why I'm doing that. Here's some peacock. And here's a 2-inch strip. Beautiful, beautiful paper. We're going to put that with some garden green. There. Alright. That one can go with anything. I think we're going to put that with the white. What do I have left? My strips. I might need that one more time. Here are my strips. Again, we're going to save these for next week. I have one more. I really like this one with garden green. That's pretty too, though. I don't know. This is the hard part, is matching. Not that it doesn't match, is that I can't decide because they all look so good. Stampin' Up! Has been doing an awesome job with our pattern paper. I've learned to use it. I think that's part of it too. So there. And that makes a nice card. There's nothing wrong with that. You could add, I don't mix and match my patterns very much, and I'm told I should. Oh, that'd be pretty. Again, we're not going to do that, but there's that. So these are all your pieces that you get to play with. And this is how I quote unquote play with them. So this is 5.5 inches. So this could be a card base. And our cards are 5.5 inches. So what I do is I make strips. And I don't measure, so don't ask me how wide they are. I determine it based on how wide my adhesive is. Do I have adhesive on the table? This is an old, I need to buy some more refill for my new seal. I used it all. So this is, I don't know, 1/2 inch. So you'd want to make sure these strips are at least as wide as your adhesive, like I said. 1 inch is good. Bigger, doesn't matter. Just make some strips. These strips then, on my next kit that I'll just show you, I embossed. And I kind of had a theme going. So you look at your embossing folders, and then these strips will be added to the cards that have the 2-inch piece. Let me show you what I mean. I mean, you saw that on, I don't know if this goes, but, oh, that'd be pretty. And then you could stamp in the peacock. Use our peacock layer to cut something out of here, and then stamp your sentiment, or just a flower, or, you know, your cute little bird, or the moose. I'm looking at my things over here. Whatever stamps you have. You could just add your focal point with the stamps you have on hand. So that's what these strips are for. So let's cut some more strips and see what else we got going. Just make sure they're wide enough to put your adhesive on. That's all. And then you could just, like I said, stop whenever you need to stop. I know a lot of people don't have crafting space. I'm very blessed that I took up one end of our basement, and so I get to leave my stuff out. If you don't have that luxury, do this much of your kit and put it away till you do have time, or till you need a card. Oh, look at this one. This is beautiful. I didn't use soft seafoam. I think that's what that is. But I only need a 5.5 by inch piece of soft seafoam, if you have it in your scraps, to add to that card. You can't even tell that it kind of goes in. We could turn it over. Isn't that pretty? Oh, that would be pretty too. I don't know, so many choices. You get to decide, and this is where your creativity comes in. So things you can do with these strips, like I said, you can emboss them. I don't know if you remember, before I had a Big Shot, I would crinkle paper and make it look like rustic. That would be kind of fun too. You could tear the edge. I mean, all the things that we do in our cards, you can do with these strips. So that is my kit with the greens. I know, Melissa, I love Pretty Peacock too. I'm going to be very sad when they retire it, but maybe they'll bring it back. So I'm not going to cut any more strips for now, because maybe I wanted to cut some dies. So whatever you have on hand, if you have a machine and you can die cut some dies out of these extra pieces of cardstock so that they're ready to go when you have time or need to make a card. You want everything ready to go, and I think that's the great thing about a kit, is everything's ready to go. So we've got a great start on our cards here, and you could just put adhesive on, put a stamp like I showed you at the beginning, and be done. I think this one is just beautiful. Maybe we'll cut some of those. Should I cut a little more? How are we doing on time? Oh my gosh, it's late. So from these scraps, they're not really scraps, they were part of your kit. Those 3-inch by 3-inch pieces, I would cut this to 6 by 6. Oh, that's not right. Sorry, it needs to be bigger than 3. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So this is going to go under a layer under one of those 3-inch squares. And then this is a great one to stamp on and then die cut or punch out with a circle or an oval or whatever you have. Look at this. Oh, this is just so beautiful. There's another card. And then stamp just a note or a little note or thinking of you. It's just beautiful. And it's all because of the Designer Series paper. I've talked about this before. Don't have our Designer Series paper, make your own. You have stamps, you have ink, make your own Designer Series paper, and then you know everything coordinates. All right, so that's our second kit. I do have one more kit to show you, and then we're done for today. Sorry I've kept you so long. I just keep talking. Never would have thought garden green with pretty peacock. I know, and just, it's in the designer series paper. It's just amazing. My last kit, I used the Gilded Autumn, and I don't have my, yes I do. It is in the mini catalog on page 44. So I used this designer series paper, and I used some patterns I hadn't played with yet. The stamp set, we used this last week, and if you remember, I had extras of these. We're going to pull these out. Maybe we'll put together a couple more cards. These were my leftovers from, because I had some made, and then I showed you how I colored them, and don't need our blends. Clean up a little bit here, sorry. Oh, with sympathy, maybe we need that. I don't know. So I used that same pattern. I used these same on this kit as well. So here are my extras. Excuse me. So I used the planks die. Can you see? Or, excuse me, embossing folder to do that. Oh, I see family is chatting. Today is my daughter's birthday, and we were going to talk to her at 8 o'clock. I told her I would zip through my video to be ready, but she'll just have to talk to the boys. I'm busy showing you this kit. So look at this pattern paper. And I just chose my colors based on what's in the kit. Or I mean, on the pattern. I chose the colors for my kit based on the designer series paper. So I'm pretty sure that's Cajun Craze. I don't know if I like that one so much. Let's turn it over. Oh, I love it. The way I would finish this card, I would put down, you don't even need all that. I would adhere this first. Can you see what I'm doing? Then adhere this on top, making sure it lines up perfectly. Yep, let's see, I got smudge on there. All right, here are some of these. This would be fun to make a kit and just die cut, or in this case, punch. That was a punch. Punch a bunch of these. I don't know if I like those so much with it. Do that. Stamp something on there and you're done. You could add ribbon. I didn't put any ribbon with this kit yet either. But the ribbon in the suite, I believe, is on back order, but it has a pretty green, and the copper ribbon that we used a couple weeks ago or last week, that would be nice in the kit too. And you could just tie it around the edge or tie it across here. I don't know, so many options. All right, and here's another one, same idea. This is that 3x4 inch piece. Those would look nice on here too. I think to use this side, that color needs to be darker. Anyway, this one, I used I believe it's the Subtles. Can you see that? It's pattern. It's textured, just barely. But I thought that added just enough. And this is paper we haven't seen yet. And then I would, this is my leftover cardstock. I would stamp on here. Stamp and punch it out with my tailored tag probably. And just put it on there. And make a lovely card. And here I made a note. My 4 designer series paper, I used 1 thick very vanilla, 2 regular very vanilla, 3 Cajun Craze, 3 mint, 2 early espresso were my 11 pieces of cardstock. So let's finish going through here. This is one of our newer embossing folders. I believe that's part of the Heartwarming Hugs. There's another card. We'll just put them over to the side like this. I think this is also with the Heartwarming Hugs. So remember, with the darker colors, like these first 2, we're going to need a layer on the inside. But the very vanilla, isn't that beautiful? Can you see that copper? Oh, so pretty. Here's our 3x3. Just put a layer on there. I would add more to that though. That's a little plain for me. Having, oh, now there. You don't need much more than a stamp under that. You have a lovely card. I do like this side with the gold. So these I just did all the same. Actually, they aren't the same. The layer's a little different, isn't it? And this one I added the early espresso. Again, the colors just came from the designer series paper. Oh, look at that one. And the plank there. This one has the houndstooth. So just mix and match. Chances are you have things you like. Use what you like. So like I said, create your own designer series paper. And those are my 12 cards with the autumn gilded, or gilded autumn. Gilded autumn. And then I have layers to put, stamp my sentiments either on the vanilla or the green. I believe that's mint. And then I could put a layer behind it with my darker colors. So maybe I will finish these cards and show you. But again, leave your cards wherever you need them to be, how much time you have. Create a kit that far along, and then you have pieces ready to go. So, happy stamping. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I kept you so long today. I had a lot to say. And it's so fun to create. Be creative. I hope you get creative too. I mean, make sure you don't have any questions. I think we're good. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching replay, let me know. If you're watching on YouTube, again, let me know. I have a customer that likes to email me when she watches my YouTube videos, which is perfectly fine. It's just fun to know who's watching and how I can help you and that I'm inspiring you. Happy stamping. Take care. Bye for now.